Welcome to the 411 Sports World Podcast, where we give you the real sports talk, whether it's football, basketball, tennis, sports lines, debates. You want it? We've got it. We give you clear, concise sports knowledge between rivalries, surprise teams facing big tests, and some flat-out key games. We provide plenty of intrigue. Today is Tuesday, October 27, 2015. Thanks for joining us on the 411 Sports World Podcast. And now, introducing the panel of experts, the calculator, T-Rock, Lacy Dawson.
Ciao.
And your host, Mr. 411. Again, thanks for joining us.
All right. Welcome to the 411 Sports World Podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm Mr. 411. In the office with me tonight, we have the calculator and Lacy Dawson. What's going on?
Good.
Hey, feeling good, Mr. 411, feeling good. Ready to talk fantasy football.
Yeah. Man, It is fantasy football. We're in the middle of the fantasy football season, guys.
It just flies by.
Yeah, man,
it does.
Man, we wait all year for it, and then as soon as it hits, it's like halfway over.
Yep.
It does it to us every year.
Every year.
But you know what? There's another fantasy world started up, and fantasy basketball is on the way. So, we can let that get to rolling. But we definitely hot and heavy in fantasy football right now. And, T-Rock is in the building.
Oh, wow.
And he will make his appearance.
Must he?
So all of T-Rock Nation, all of Pat's Nation, all of Ohio State Nation, don't fret. He will be here.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, speaking of the NBA, I know we're heavy into football, guys, but since the season has just opened, last night was opening act. We had a couple games played last night, and then it's a full slate of action tonight. Before we get into football, calculator, Lacy?
Yeah.
Let everybody know, what are you looking forward to with the upcoming NBA season?
Lacy, you want to go first?
I'm not. Well, I'll go first, but I'm not really looking forward to a whole lot at this point. It's the season's just getting started, and that's a long season for real. So, got some fantasy basketball leagues going on, so I'm looking forward to winning those. But at this point, it's going to take some time, at least a month to figure out, where people are. They're coming back off vacation. See what's going on. Let's see how bad my Knicks are doing after a month. So, it's an exciting time, but there's still enough football for me. So I'm holding off on any real excitement about basketball until after the new year. So.
All right. Well, Christmas lineup is when it it kind of kicks off real big then. But for the basketball junkies, we a lot of us are excited. And hey, look, football's on Thursday night and then Sunday. So now we have something going on every night.
Every night.
My goodness.
I hope y'all do realize that there are people that have a life and have stuff to do on the other nights. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, watch basketball.
That's too much. No, thank you.
And for me, man, watching the Mets, and boy, they let me down last night. But we'll talk about it.
They played a good game. Don't I like the Mets too. I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
But they'll take it. They're playing tonight too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, calculator, what you looking forward to this upcoming NBA season?
Well, I've always been a Tim Duncan fan.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing a transition from him to LaMarcus Aldridge and how he fits in with, him being kind of like the man the whole time, going from a team where it was almost like a two-man team to a full team with and see how he fits with Greg Popovich and how that molds together, and to see if they can, if they can keep their continuity going and just being one of the better teams, and seeing also being a Hawks fan. I'm a Hawks fan as well, being in the being from in the Georgia area, and seeing if they can continue with what they did, surprising everybody last year, to see if they can continue playing their type of ball. So just looking to see how those two teams, not only they do, but also want to see if the Cavaliers can continue to build on their late season success and be the dominant team that a lot of people predicted them to be. And most of all, I want to see how things turn out in the Western Division of the NBA with all those good teams, just to see who's gonna make it through the bloodbath season to make it to the playoffs. And then to watch the West just beat up on each other. That's pretty fun to watch. I mean, as a fan. Yeah. But that's the main thing I'm looking forward to. Not only my teams, but to see what happens out west with all those good teams out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the Clippers are going to rebound from that tough out last year. They finally beat the Spurs and then end up losing to the Rockets. After being up by 17 in the fourth quarter. I want to see how they bounce back. DeAndre Jordan left and came back, but technically never left. But, that whole fiasco, I want to see how that pans out. I want to see if Kobe Bryant and my Lakers can at least be respectable this year. And I will say this, Lacy. I would love to see the Knicks in the playoffs. That would be.
So would I.
That would be exciting to at least have them in the first round and possibly playing Cleveland. That would be interesting just to have that atmosphere.
Why would that be interesting? That wouldn't be interesting.
Well,
we don't want that.
Spike Lee needs somebody to yell at. So I think LeBron on the court, Spike Lee there. That would be exciting. So we will see how it all pans out. And but they're just starting. But what's been really rolling is fantasy football.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Man, this past weekend, did we have some studs and duds, ladies and gentlemen?
We did.
Yes, did we? Well, let's get into it. Let's get into these studs and duds for the listeners. Calculator.
Yes.
Kick it off.
Absolutely. With my stud quarterback, the guy I'm going to pick out is a Ryan Tannehill for the Miami Dolphins. Get this. Tannehill got rolling quickly as the Dolphins beat the Texans. He threw 4 touchdown passes in just the first half, finishing the day 18 of 19 for 282 yards. He and the Miami offense cruised in the second half, but they should be geared up for a Thursday night matchup with the Patriots. Love me some Ryan Tannehill. About time. It looks like the coaching change actually has reinvigorated Tannehill, and looks like he can hopefully he'll be able to continue going in what looks to be a shootout this Thursday night. My quarterback dud, going to pick out Matt Ryan for the Falcons. Yeah, man. The Falcons scratched out a win over the Titans 10-7, but Ryan's overall numbers were far from great. He ended up going 22 of 38, 251 yards, but threw a pair of interceptions and just 1 touchdown pass. And what looked to be, on paper, that looked to be a good matchup. Playing the Tennessee Titans, you're licking your chops when you see that on paper, but it just didn't come to fruition. It looks like Matt Ryan's going to struggling, and hopefully Julio Jones will be able to get him out of his funk, with his upcoming matchup against the Buccaneers. Moving on to the running back stud position, I'm going to keep with the Miami Dolphin theme. Lamar Miller. Monster game, piling up fantasy points in the first half as the Dolphins ran away in that matchup with the Titans. He scored a pair of touchdowns, one rushing, one receiving. He finished with 175 yards on 14 carries and 61 yards on 3 catches, which equals to 230 all-purpose yards. Miller is way more involved in the offense with Dan Campbell at the helm, so he should remain a strong play in the coming weeks. Again, coaching change has reinvigorated the Dolphins' offense right now.
Who knew? Yeah.
Who knew? I mean, just a simple coaching change.
New attitude.
Yeah, and I think he did. He that tough mentality. People, it's just it wasn't that the other guy was a good coach. I think they weren't responding to his kind of this like the same old song. They just needed a new voice.
Right.
In the running back dud position, I'm going to pick on Alfred Morris again. We've talked about he's been on this list all year long. He did virtually nothing in the Redskins' comeback win, finishing with 5 yards, 6 carries, 2 yards on his only catch. Folks, if you had Alfred Morris, believe it or not, it's safe to release him. Okay, safe to release him. I mean, he is. If you are, even with the bye weeks coming up, I would pick out anybody on the waiver wire that could get at least a couple catches, and he's gonna help you out with over Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, you are a dud. Wow. Okay, to the wide receiver position. Welcome to Fantasyland, T.Y. Hilton. Hilton and Andrew Luck had nothing going early, but surged at the end of the game before ultimately falling 27-21 to the Saints. Hilton caught a pair of touchdown passes while hauling in 4 catches for 150 yards on his whopping 15 targets. It definitely wasn't an efficient day for Hilton, but his final numbers were good enough for his fantasy owners. I have said this on more than one occasion, folks. Garbage time is golden. We love garbage points, okay? And it looks like with that Indy terrible defense, they'll be in plenty of catch-up mode for the year to go. So, T.Y. Hilton, thank you for saving a lot of people's fantasy week with that late surge in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
On the dud list, I'm going to go with Julian Edelman at the wide receiver position. The Patriots' top wide receiver had to deal with his former teammate on Revis Island, and he dropped a short touchdown while putting together a pretty rough stat line. He had 5 catches, 54 yards, but should bounce back against the Dolphins on Thursday. But for many, he was a letdown for his fantasy owners this week. And I'm sure, some people could say 50 for 54 is a good stat line, but not for people that have been, Edelman's been continually getting you close to 20 points a week. So I think a lot of people, but you had to go in with your eyes open on that. You had to kind of see that he was going on Revis Island, and some people may not have started him. I don't know, but a lot of people who had Edelman, you started him anyways and hoped for the best, and got a little over 10 points on PPR leagues, but no touchdowns. To the tight end position, we're going to go with the studs for Jordan Reed. I didn't even know he was going to play, to tell you the truth. I mean, he was off and on. He was on the injury report all week. Yep. And for those people that made a late addition, they were rewarded. He hauled in a pair of touchdowns, including the game-winning score and his return from a concussion. He pulled in 11 of his 13 targets for 72 yards. Jordan Reed, welcome back to Fantasyland. On the flip side, my dud, I'm going with Julius Thomas. A lot of people got excited when he first come back. It's like, oh no, he's finally back. He's looking like his old self. Hey, the Jags tight end looked good last week with 7 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Unfortunately, he couldn't get anything going this week. Had 1 catch, 4 yards. Man. Thank you for nothing, Mr. Julius Thomas. And that is the calculator's studs and duds for this week.
All right. It's time for Lacy.
Okay. Well, I'm listening to the calculator. I'm listening to him. I'm marking off a lot of the people that are on my list.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I'm going to have to try to go in a different direction. I'd say for studs running back, Mr. McFadden. Hello.
Hey.
Where have you been? He had the kind of game fantasy owners have been dreaming about for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it now, and he did it against the Giants. So that's impressive. Whether he can repeat that feat is that's another story. Dallas has got Seattle this week, so I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were McFadden owner, but I would hold on to him. That's for sure, because it looks like Randall is injured, or he's just not getting the attention, and so it looks like McFadden is the flavor of the week, probably for at least a couple of weeks. So he performed at a stud level, and it was nice to see that. There's a couple of people I know that Mr. 411 is going to talk about, so I'm going to leave him alone, and I'm going to leave him alone. There's some people that we talked about on the waiver wire last week that performed really well. One of those was from Mr. 411. I'll let him talk about that. I'll talk about the one I suggested, which was Ladarius Green.
And did you nail that one or what?
He did a good job. I wish I owned him, but no. Still, he had a great week. And some of the other positions, surprisingly, Washington quarterback stud. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
I was, when I looked at the numbers, I said, wait, I had to refresh to make sure that it was correct. I did.
Yeah, was RG3 playing?
And it was not RG3.
Wow.
So, that was a good week for Washington. I believe they're on a bye this week, though, so we can't really see how they're going to follow that up. But
right.
I don't know if anybody would have started that guy. I don't think so. But, had you taken that chance, you would have definitely been rewarded. Now, I have another I have a guy that I have as a stud and a dud at the same time, if that makes any sense. It will when I tell you who it is. It's Arian Foster.
Oh yeah.
He had his best game of the year.
Best game of the year.
For all the people that have patiently hung on to him and nursed him along and said, okay, I can finally feel confident in putting you into my lineup. He goes and does you proud, and then he's out for the season. Here it is, week 7, and he is done.
Yep.
And I know anybody that drafted him, had to wait on him and had to know that he has a glass chin, so it was going to be a short stint, but who knew it was going to be this short? And that is just he was a stud, and now he is a true dud. So, speaking of, I hate to be negative. I really do. But there's a couple of people. Ryan Matthews, it looks like he's emerging as the stud for Philly as opposed to DeMarco Murray, who continues to fade. He's just not living up to, I don't know what the issue is. I know he's supposed to be, semi-healthy, but this is, compared to last year, there's just no comparison. And people drafted him really high with high expectations, and that's just a shame.
Yeah.
But even though I said I hate to be negative, I got to talk about these duds. The dud of the week for me at quarterback has got to be Colin Kaepernick.
Oh my goodness!
With a total of 4 fantasy points from a quarterback. Ouch. Yeah. And he's followed closely by Eli and Sam Bradford and Nick Foles. It's terrible. Eli.
And they won the game.
I don't know how, but I'm glad about that part. But ooh. And thanks to Eli, the wide receiver dud, it's your boy John, Odell Beckham Jr.
Eli's killing him.
Eli's killing him, and you got to go down with that ship. It's unfortunate because there's a lot of talent there, but maybe there's a Peyton, maybe there's a Manning thing going on where they've got some kind of virus. I don't know what's going on because they both have it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I got one more running back stud, and I have to hand it to him, Mr. Ellington.
Oh man.
No, thank you. Please
Wait,
go
and the
away.
thing, and Lacy, what the thing about Ellington is the man's healthy. Okay, the man's healthy, and he's not even getting touches until the third quarter or the fourth quarter. I mean, the fourth. I mean,
I don't. Yeah.
Chris Johnson is he's not that good, but he's out there performing.
He's looking like a stud.
He's looking like a stud because of that offensive line. Ellington, let me tell you, a lot of those runs that Chris Johnson is breaking off, Ellington scores on those plays.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're trying
maybe Ellington used to score on those.
He's
been scoring lately.
Yeah, that's true. So, and it's unfortunate because, when he's healthy, He's so explosive. But I think Arizona is just kind of saving him. I really do. I think that Arizona's limiting his touch. Yeah, because they don't want him to get hurt, because you know how proud he is.
So they're going to go ahead and use up Chris Johnson.
Hey, if Chris Johnson keep running, they're going to run that joker into the ground, and then come to playoffs, Andre Ellington is going to be nice and fresh. And that's what I've been reading on the message boards when a lot of people are saying, why is the more talented back not getting the touches? And they're saying, well, they Chris Johnson, they can run him now, and then keep Ellington fresh for the playoffs.
So from a fantasy standpoint, Andre Ellington should be dead to you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Unless now, if Chris Johnson gets hurt, talk is they're going to give David Johnson more work rather than Andre Ellington, because they really said everything I've been reading is saying Andre Ellington is the guy they're going to use once playoff time gets. But yeah, playoffs not going to do it.
But fantasy season will be over at that point.
Exactly. So fantasy players beware. You might be finding Andre Ellington on the waiver wire. Well, you might not want to take that chance. Just waiting on him to come and be a contribution. So, words of the wise. If Andre Ellington's on your waiver wire, depending on your league, you might want to leave him out there.
Leave him alone. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Playoffs.
Okay. As far as I think, let's see. I'm looking at my list to make sure I covered everybody that I wanted to talk about, and still left Mr. 411 some people to talk about. So I think I've covered what I wanted to cover. So, have at it, Mr. 411.
Well, thank you, Lacy. But anytime you want to drop knowledge, you drop as much as you want to, because that's why the listeners are here. They want to hear what you have to say. You drop that knowledge, Lacy.
I'm empty.
All right. Well, I'm just going to run through. Let's get the bad out the way, okay?
Okay.
You remember this wrestler named Abdullah the Butcher?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm about to butcher Abdullah from my team. My goodness, 4 fantasy points in a PPR league. What has happened to this guy, man? He so much hype, so much promise, and
he can't hold on to the ball.
But all the opportunity too. I mean, Bale. That's what you want. Bale's out the way. I mean, when Theo Riddick gets to play, there's something wrong with this picture, man. So that's the dud for me. And this guy's been pretty good. He's been surprisingly good at the receiver position, but he's a dud for this past weekend.
Uh-oh.
Travis Benjamin.
Oh, man.
47 receiving yards versus the Rams. And the Rams are a tough defense at home, but, I mean, goodness. I mean, I know a lot of fantasy owners had to have Benjamin in their lineup because he's been on fire.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth. And I say that. Let me just interject, Mr. 411. Travis Benjamin came to fame, so to speak, when Johnny Mann was the quarterback. That was his guy. That's his go-to guy. And Johnny Mann may be back. There's a possibility. So don't pull that trigger just yet, fantasy fans. Hold on to Mr. Benjamin. He may be worth a little something.
Yep.
All right. So I'll switch over to some studs. Can you dig it?
No. Don't give a shot, damn you.
Can you dig it?
I knew you were going to go about that. I was nice enough to leave it for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. You threw the alley-oop and I slammed it like Shaq.
Yeah.
So, 23 fantasy points in the PPR league. He even had 9 rushing yards, a touchdown, 100 yards receiving, 6 receptions. So that a very productive day for someone from someone off the waiver wire.
And Mr. 411, can I also add something to that? What is so surprising, and I'm upset about all the reports that were coming out, everybody was saying that Mr. Diggs was running, as a 3rd and 4th receiver in practice.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people were removing him from daily fantasy lineups, and they're laying in flex positions, and all of a sudden he does what he did. So, guys, take what you read from a lot of these practice reports and stuff with a grain of salt sometimes, because a lot of it's misdirection. That's right. It's a misdirection.
Exactly.
So just, hey, if the guy's the most talented guy on the team, which Diggs is as far as a wide receiver position is concerned, and he's been doing good in the past, keep riding the hot hand, folks.
Nice point. And I'll just add to that. Just listen to our podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
How about this? It's good to be a girly.
It's good to be what?
A girly.
Todd,
I'm only going to do a tequila shot for that.
Yeah, girly. 2 touchdowns, 128 yards. Enough said. Stud this weekend. And here's one. This is going to shock the both of you because you know I'm not a fan of this.
Uh-huh.
However, New York Giants special teams, because you all know I'm not a fan of special teams and kickers, but my goodness, I mean, the Giants had 3 interceptions, a sack, fumble for a touchdown, and a kick return for a touchdown. So that's a lot of points coming from that, you know, that random position.
That's more points than Eli, Odell, and the running backs combined.
Yeah, together with Rashad Jennings. You go. All the triplets in there from the Giants and their defense special teams outscored them.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's thank what's his name, Castle and and whoever else is trying to play for Dallas right now. The Giants, thank you. The fantasy owners, thank you. And
this is terrible. What?
Yeah.
But McFadden is looking like a stud.
Yeah. But McFadden did step it up.
Oh, and I forgot to mention. I'm sorry. Are you done, Mr. 411? Or you got some more?
I am done. I'll pitch it to you now.
Okay. I just want to mention because I remember I was listening to the calculator. And he did wax poetic about Ryan Tannehill and Lamar Miller, but there were a couple of other studs in Miami this weekend. And that's my boy, finally, Jarvis and Rashard Matthews. It's like you could take your pick. You could throw a dart at a Miami Dolphin, and they are on fire. It was a beautiful thing.
Now, again, they were playing the Texans, which is one of the worst defenses in the league right now.
Right. Who's playing the Texans this week?
And so, but I'm just saying, although I do like all Miami Dolphins this week because they are going to have to play, keep up / catch up to the Patriots
against New England. That's right.
Thursday night.
And it's Thursday night prime time. Dan Campbell's going to have his folks fired up for this game.
Right. And New England is not playing any defense.
Nah.
Not really. So.
No, you just ask Brandon Marshall. Well, Brandon Marshall was wide open all day long, and he was just dropping them. So maybe Miami receivers can hold on to the ball. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he went from dirty Landry to clean Landry.
There you go.
Tequila shot. Damn it. Hoping I wouldn't have to get drunk tonight.
Well, guess what? It's already been hinted a little bit, like, some of you, the calculator, you mentioned picking up some Dolphins, and Lacy, you mentioned about, how terrible Dallas is and who's playing Houston next. So, let's jump into the scoop and score. With those type of tips and advice, floating around, let's go over, like, some of these waiver wire pickups here. Let's scoop it up and score this upcoming weekend. So who you got, calculator?
So now, when I was looking at waiver wires, okay, I kind of want to go with people that might be in deep leagues. Like, yes, Jordan Reed is a great waiver wire, but he's only available in probably 55% of leagues because a lot of people that had Jordan Reed probably, even though he was hurt, kept him. So Stephon Diggs, is he really on the? I mean, believe it or not, he's actually available in 57% of leagues right now. But
wow,
when I do my waiver wires, I want to go into larger leagues where they possibly have large rosters, and a lot of people don't have these people. So one of the guys at the running back position, I want to touch on Brandon Oliver. Okay, the running back for the San Diego Chargers.
He's on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he got early touches over Melvin Gordon in Week 7. Melvin Gordon is dealing with an ankle injury and a case of fungulitis.
Just abandons the run.
Yeah, and although it seems unlikely, we've seen the last of Gordon as a starter. But, hey, Brandon Oliver had 6 catches to go along with 9 rushes very intriguing play in a PPR league. In the wide receiver position, Brandon LaFell. Okay, a lot of people gave up on him with him being, hurt for the early part of the season, and he actually had a pretty bad weekend with a bunch of drops this weekend. But hey, I'm an optimist. Okay, so let's focus on the redeeming part of LaFell's season debut. He did have 8 targets. Okay. But the drops were most likely some rust, and I doubt it'll be an issue going forward. But he's a number 3 option in what is the best offense in football that has value. I'm going to stay with the New England theme. James White at running back, okay?
You're just talking crazy.
Hey, my sense is that there is a decent shot Dion Lewis will return for Week 8, but White is on the radar if Dion Lewis doesn't play because he is the backup. He is Dion Lewis's catching.
We got James White. We got a whole bunch of speculation.
Well, it is speculation, but hey, if you don't have any other options, you can do James White and see if he plays. The Patriots dress just 2 running backs in Week 7. Okay, White played 44 snaps compared to just 8 for LeGarrette Blount, and when the team goes spread up tempo attack, White is in the mix. So not a bad percentage to be on the field for 44 snaps. Okay, and then my last one I want to touch on is a Chris Conley, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Had a touchdown. Yeah.
Yes. A terrific athlete who was taken in the 3rd round this year. Conley had a notable Week 7 with 6 catches, 63 yards, a touchdown. Hey, someone has to emerge in Kansas City. But we'll see what his role looks like when Jerry Maclin comes back in the lineup. But I feel Conley has more upside than any of the other receivers, including Albert Wilson. So Chris Conley, you might want to just kick the tires and see what happens. You never know what can happen. So, but those are the kind of like the deep gems I want people that might want to start looking at. People want to look at.
My goodness, you went deep sea diving or whatever they call that. Yeah. So, I mean, they dropped you. You know how you go out and film the sharks in the ocean.
Yeah.
They put you in the cage and drop you down in the ocean. Cool. You went deep, man. And that's what we want. I mean, there's a lot of situations out there. I'm one of those that are in the dire straits. So, I fell down, but I'm gonna get back up. So,
fell down, yes, sir.
Take your shot.
Okay, who you got, Lacy?
I'm getting pretty drunk here. Well, the calculator. It's a shame when great minds really do think alike. Because I promise you, I only wrote down a couple of names, thinking that I had them all to myself, and the calculator managed to sniff several of them out. I have one, he's not really a sleeper at this point, but he's probably available, which is Mr. Nate Washington, who put together a nice game for in garbage time again. But it looks like if other teams are paying attention, they may be trying to contain DeAndre Hopkins, and Nate Washington will benefit from that. And this week they're playing Tennessee. So that's where he came from. So there could be some grudge match situation going on.
Hey, I like that.
So that was another one of the guys that I was looking at. And then there's Danny Amendola. I don't know. I swear, as recently as just before this past weekend, like let's say Saturday or Sunday morning, Danny Amendola was available in several leagues that I'm in. And I know that those are pretty competitive, and he's been available pretty much all year. So if he's available in your league now, go ahead and pick him up. He may not have another game like that this week, but he's back on Brady's radar. So that's never a bad place to be if you're a receiver.
Yeah.
And let's see if I had anybody else I was looking at. I think we talked about Washington, but they're on a bye.
Yes.
And there's a receiver, and this is just one of those guys when I was looking at the toward the end of the game, I think it was, and somebody scored a touchdown. I'm like, who the hell is that? Somebody named Clive Walford.
Okay.
I know he sounds like a college professor or something. But he plays for the Oakland Raiders, believe it or not. And he had a decent game. So I'm just saying that this is somebody that apparently Derek Carr is taking a liking to. So just somebody to think about. I'm not saying go pick that guy up. Just keep him on your radar. He may be in line for something good. So, but that's all I had. The calculator covered quite a bit of what I was going to say. Chris Conley was my I didn't think you saw him.
No.
Wow.
Sorry,
you must have been in the same. You were down there in the same ocean with calculator.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I need to pick a better ocean. Damn it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, you guys have, man. You providing a lot of good information for the listeners, and I'm going to have to dig a little deep as well. In the tight end position, Richard Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. They must be from the same.
Don't do it.
They must be from the same neighborhood. But look, they're playing Denver. They're playing Denver this weekend, and with those corners out there in Denver, Rodgers is a very intelligent quarterback, and I think he may hit Richard Rodgers for a touchdown this weekend. So you may see a Rodgers and Rodgers connection against Denver. So if he's out there, and they just came off a bye week, and you need a tight end, take a look at Double R there. Take a stab at that. At receiver, Tavon Austin. We're into those bye weeks. Yeah, we're into those bye weeks, and this is a guy who can make a big play for you. And I know calculators
or not.
Or not. But this guy, on the track, or in a dome, he gets handoffs, and he occasionally, it only takes one big one, as the calculator would say. So just, if you need a receiver,
but if he doesn't get it,
yeah. So just keep an eye on that guy there as well. Zach Stacy with Chris Ivory, he runs hard now, and sometimes that adds up. But with I think my guy Bilal he's no good to the Jets. So, but Zach Stacy, he has a good history. Remember when he played for the Rams? He had some nice stats. So I'm not saying, if you already have your lineup pretty full, you roll with what you have. But if you need that extra insurance this weekend, just in case Ivory doesn't play, Zach Stacy.
Yeah.
You know he has the ability to do it. So keep an eye on those guys there. I love the McFadden, but someone already mentioned that earlier, so I'm not going to steal that thunder. But, McFadden, man, Dallas it looked like they had a 4-man tryout at running back.
Yeah. Basically.
And finally by week 7, week 8, McFadden wins the job. So
well, that's the point at which he'll get turf.
Yeah, and 4-on-1, everybody was adding Christine Michael this past week, with all the words saying Christine Michael was getting all the reps.
Exactly.
He got 3 touches.
Yeah. So it looks like McFadden's going to at least have the opportunity to
get
be the
beat
starting
down by
back.
Seattle.
And he's going to tweak his hamstring halfway through.
Or his turf toe or some other nonsense. His pinky finger, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's always something with that guy.
Well, then don't drop Michael yet. Also, and hey, Kyrie Robinson.
Yeah.
As a PPR kind of guy, just keep an eye on Kyrie. Now look, Martin is tearing it up.
Backs. Yeah.
Yeah. But the starting running back there is tearing it up right now. But Drew Brees loves to hit the other back too. So if you need a back and you need a couple points here and there to get you through the weekend, get you through this week till your starter comes back, keep an eye on Kyrie Robinson. So that's our scoop and score.
Okay.
And so with that said, don't forget about the games this weekend. We have bye weeks. We have we have bye weeks with Buffalo, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, and Washington. And there's a game in London this weekend. So, again, get up early, brew that coffee, and make sure the right players are in your lineup. And if I was you, just in case you go out to the Halloween parties over the weekend, things like that, maybe go ahead and make sure your lineup is set, because you may get home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and you won't wake up in time to set to set those Lions and those Chiefs. So, take care of that.
Yeah.
But hey, it's time for the grab bag.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And the calculator received a very special email. And by the way, that's 411sportsworldpodcast@gmail.com. He received a special email from Carmen.
Yes, sir. Carmen's Cronies, one of our regular listeners, sent in a question and wanted to throw it around, dealing with his lineup. Okay, his lineup, he has to start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, which is either a wide receiver or running back, kicker and a defense. We won't worry about kicker and defense. He has Gutowski and the Carolina defense. He said those are pretty much in stone. He only carries 1 kicker and 1 defense anyways.
Okay.
But he said need to start quarterback between Carson Palmer and Andrew Luck. So we'll start at the quarterback position. Who would you start this week between Carson Palmer and Andrew Luck? 411.
Wow.
I'm
going. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because remind you, Andrew Luck is playing on the road at the Panthers, and he only had 1 good quarter last week against the Saints.
Exactly. Well, I'm marking this with a 10, and I'm circling Carson Palmer.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm circling Carson Palmer, and I'll keep this brief as possible, because I know our fans can't wait for T-Rock, so rival. But the Luck, Luck he has injuries going on too. You know what I'm saying? So to complicate that, to complicate with the injury situation, and then you're playing the Carolina Panthers defense, I just feel a lot better going with Carson Palmer for this particular weekend. So Carson Palmer is my selection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I agreed with that. Just from a pure matchup standpoint, I mean, if you have Carson Palmer, I mean, he's playing great right now. Has 3 receivers at Cleveland. So yeah, I'm a Carson Palmer believer this week. I don't want anything to do playing Carolina on the road.
Yeah.
So. And I have to agree with both of you guys. Andrew Luck, he just hasn't been himself and playing. And that's when you're playing people that aren't putting that D on you. So, trying to get it done against Carolina, I mean, that's just asking for too much. They're going to key on him. They don't have much of a run game to speak of, so they don't have to worry about that. So they're going to take it to Mr. Luck. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to be pretty. So I agree.
Yeah,
Carson Palmer all the way.
It's all looked up.
Yeah, there you go. And moving on to the running back position, he says, I know Devontae Freeman is one of my starters, but I need to choose between Jonathan Stewart, Eddie Lacy, and Chandrick West as my other running back.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Yes. Well, obviously he's starting Devontae Freeman, as he said. Yes. Here,
unanimous, Freeman.
I'm just looking at this. It makes me laugh. It's like, these are names that should be okay. This should be a no-brainer, but it isn't.
It isn't.
Yeah,
a lot of people would say, "Oh, Eddie Lacy's his first-round pick. Maybe I need to go." Well, it's not that easy this weekend.
No, it's like, how's that been working out for you? Not well.
Yeah, not well.
Denver's not playing around.
No, they're not.
But Jonathan Stewart, Carolina hasn't been doing a whole lot of running, and Stewart hasn't been a whole lot of running. But they're playing Indianapolis, who hasn't been doing a whole lot of defending the run.
Gave up 3 rushing touchdowns last week. So
yeah, I don't see how you don't exploit that. I started Jonathan Stewart. I can't trust Amir Abdullah. I can't trust Eddie Lacy. If I had a flex, I'd put Lacy in there. Maybe Charcandrick West. They're playing, let's see, who is it? Kansas City's playing
Detroit in London.
That could be a good game. That could be a good game for him, but, now Davis is still there. I just don't trust that situation yet.
Yeah.
So me,
I'm on the Jonathan Stewart bandwagon this weekend too. I mean, playing at home, prime time. Carolina's doing great, and Indianapolis they are bad against the run. Just ask Mark Ingram and Kyrie Robinson last weekend.
Yeah.
So, what about you, 411?
I'll tell you what. I get to select 2 running backs at this point, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. I think it's unanimous agreement here that we're going with Devonta Freeman, correct?
Yes. That's correct.
I have him circled in pen. All right. I just cut a hole in my paper through Amir Abdullah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I hear you.
Yeah. Mr. Stewart, we're going to scratch you out.
Oh.
Lacy, not you, Lacy, but Eddie Lacy.
Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, we're going to scratch him out, and we're going to go with Mr. West.
Really?
I'm going West.
There.
I'm going West. West versus Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Go West, young man. So,
okay. You just have
let's go with West versus Detroit because he's also going to give it. Now, if it's a PPR league, let me know that. But
it is.
You're going to benefit from that PPR. You're going to benefit from playing against Detroit. And I would feel a lot better going with Freeman and West versus the other 3 running backs listed there in the middle. So those are my selections.
You don't see Kansas City falling behind and just Alex Smith throwing the ball. That's nothing to be worried about.
Well, I would still like that because Alex Smith likes to throw it short, so he can still throw it to West, and you can get those cheap PPR receptions and yardage there. So I just feel better with the matchup against Detroit. Come on, Abdullah, we're done with him. Lacy, we're not sure if it's going to be him or Starks. And Stewart, I feel a lot better. Cam is the running back there, so I would go with West and Freeman.
Okay. Now the last position, wide receiver. He says Randall Cobb he said he's starting Randall Cobb without question. So he needs to choose between Keenan Allen, Jarvis Landry, Amari Cooper, and Jeremy Maclin. So we'll scratch Maclin off.
Yeah.
Because he's not even in the same class as those guys. But
we all
Keenan
agree.
Allen, Jarvis Landry, and Amari Cooper. Who's he going to pair up with? Randall Cobb. And now he does have a flex position, so he can start two of those wide receivers if he wants with Randall Cobb.
Oh, wow.
Can I make a comment here?
Sure.
And, Carmen, I hope you're listening right now. I know you say you want to start Cobb. I know you say you want to start him.
Mm-hmm.
But, he is going up against Denver. How about you start Keenan Allen in a PPR with Rivers tossing it to him 1,000 times a day, a week.
Against
Landry,
Baltimore. Yeah, they're not stopping.
Against the Ravens, you got to put him in there.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper is making cornerbacks look like they're on skates.
Yeah, but he's going to be on Revis Island this weekend.
Yeah.
He makes corner look.
He won't make Revis.
That's a big boy. I am not afraid of Revis with Cooper.
Okay.
I am not afraid. You can mark that down. I'd much rather have Cooper, Landry, and Allen as my 3 receivers this weekend.
Wow.
I like that. I like those 3. I like the idea of starting those 3. If I had those 3, I'd start all of them.
So Lacy, you would take Amari Cooper over Randall Cobb this weekend?
I feel like they're in the same boat.
Yeah. They're both going up against decent receivers, but from what I understand is Talib is going to stay on the outside. He's not going to follow Cobb on the inside, so Cobb's going to be going up against a lot of nickel backs, but Revis is going to shadow Amari Cooper, and I'm telling you guys, Revis Island is real. I don't want any part of Amari Cooper this weekend. So great, Amari Cooper's great. Don't get me wrong, but if it's my choice, calculator's going with Keenan Allen and Randall Cobb as the wide receivers with Jarvis Landry as my flex. So
well,
if I had my way, I would start Keenan Allen, Jarvis Landry, and I'd have one of those running backs in my flex. Probably Eddie Lacy.
Oh, so you're saying stay away from Cobb and Cooper?
I say why take the chance?
Yeah, that's interesting. And put something like a Kendrick West or Jonathan Stewart in the flex position.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point.
Actually, if I was him, I'd be looking for it. I'd have some trade bait for somebody.
So.
Amari Cooper is not afraid of Reeves Island.
Okay.
You heard it here tonight.
Doesn't have to be afraid to get shut down.
Hey, 411, I just want to tell you, Amari Cooper gets less than 12 points this weekend. Mark it down. Ooh. In a PPR league.
Ooh.
I just marked it down.
Mark it down.
Those are still good
I
points.
just marked it down.
Those are still good.
I have a feeling this is going to be a Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice type matchup this weekend.
Oh man, I love those matchups.
Yeah. I can't wait. Carmen, you got me excited for this game now. I'm watching Raiders Jets this weekend.
Yes, sir.
I'm watching it.
4:00 game.
Well,
I'm watching.
Well, I hope that helped, Carmen.
Yeah.
we gave you different ways to look at it, and it looks like this, man.
He'll let us know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, let us know. 401sportsworldpodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know who he starts. Yeah, I'd like to. I'm curious about who he ends up starting. So.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention, just talking, that's a pretty good darn lineup that he has.
Yeah. What was everybody else doing?
To have choices like that, that's pretty impressive.
And he's got Carolina's defense.
Yeah. Well, actually, picked up the Carolina defense on waivers. You know, believe it or not, Carolina wasn't highly drafted this year. A lot of people were down on that defense this year.
Well,
so Carmen's cronies. Carmen knows how to work that waiver wire. So good job to the Carmen's cronies, and to one of our loyal listeners.
All
right. Thank you. Now we're going to take a brief commercial break. When we come back on the other side, we have a special guest.
Really?
And everyone's been waiting on this individual.
Almost everyone.
Almost everybody.
So hold on to your seats. We'll be right back.
Okay.
And we're back.
I just took a little nap.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Welcome
Ladies and gentlemen,
to the 411 Sports World Podcast.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's in the building.
Is he?
It's time to rock.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. T-Rock in the house.
I was waiting for him to come on.
How is that T-Rock?
T-Rock.
T-Rock is in the house.
Jet
What's
Patriots.
up, Mr. 411? And
what's up, T-Rock?
Hey, T-Rock.
Hey, T-Rock. No matter what we say, it's always good to hear you, man.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome.
T-Rock.
Yes.
Good evening,
And
T-Rock.
the voice is upstairs.
Even the voice
That's the
upstairs
voice.
welcome to the building.
That's right.
Voice upstairs. Thank you for the intro.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Jets at Patriots this past weekend. Two of us selected the Jets, and two of us selected the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was an excellent game. It was 20-30, so it was an intense game. At one point, it could have went either way. I mean, we had a late downside kick attempt and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We even had Tom Brady running around like he's Mike Vick, and we had some everything going on that night.
It was looking pretty good for a minute.
However,
then we fell back down to earth.
The team with 20 was the Jets.
Unfortunately.
So, T-Rock, what was your take on the matchup?
Man, I tell you, I don't really know where to start.
You'll figure it out.
Really, I kind of want to let the other two Jet fans take the lead, and based off of, if they show a little, how should I put this? Maybe a little humility, I won't have much to say. But if they come in with a lot of excuses, and then that's when I'll kind of have to, kind kind of put it down to them. So.
Uh-oh.
Well, I want to clarify something to T-Rod. This is the calculator.
Okay,
I'm not a
calculator.
Jets fan. I'm not a Jets fan. I just looked at the analytics of the game, and it didn't work out. A very famous person once say that numbers never lie, but they don't tell the whole truth. I'm not. I've heard that before, and it came true with this particular game. Okay, so but hey, it was a great game. Tom Brady. This looks like Tom Brady from 10 years ago. I mean, he the Jets were taking it to the Patriots, but Tom Brady refused to lose. Belichick did his Belichick said, hey, we can't run against the guys, so we're just going to throw it every down, and that's pretty impressive. So the Patriots. They showed me something. They showed me that hey, they if they want, they can do what they want to do. I personally watched the game. Actually, I watched it twice because it was a great game. But I mean, I think it's going to be a great game when they play at New York as well. Because And but I'll give Brady all the credit in the world. He proved me wrong. I didn't think he'd be able to pass like he did, especially in the fourth quarter on the Jets like he did. So congrats to him. Congrats to Belichick. He says if you can't stop the pass, we're gonna keep passing. So hats off. Patriots did what they had to do. But I also think it also showed that there was a discrepancy between a team that's been there on the big stage for the big matchups in the Patriots, and the Jets are trying to get there. And I think they made a lot of a young team mistakes. The Brandon Marshall, the drop touchdown was just still hard to believe, but I think it's growing pains. So that's why I think it's going to be a great matchup when they play again. And to tell you the truth, I see both these teams in the playoffs too. So
wow,
looking forward to it.
Definitely, I agree with you on that.
All right, what you got, Lacy?
Well, I don't really do humility very well, but I'm certainly not one to just make excuses. The Jets lost fair and square. It was a good game. I enjoyed most of it, actually. Right down there toward the end, it got to, it just didn't go the way I wanted it to go. But but they both teams, the Jets played really well. I'm really proud of my team. New England was a better team, and they won. We're still hoping to get there, and we're still figuring out how to do it. But I think we're just that much closer to it, and we're going to keep getting better. And we're looking forward to seeing them when they come to New Jersey.
Right. Right.
So, but I won't take anything away from them. As much as I dislike the Patriots, and I basically dislike them because they're in my division. But I won't take anything away from them. They had a great victory, and they beat us fair and square.
All right, okay. I appreciate that. I really do. Well, I'll be brief. I'm not gonna say much. I think you just turn the tape on, and it pretty much says all need to be said. But I agree. Two very talented.
You need to work on your humble, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I would probably say in the AFC, of course, I'd have the Patriots on top and Denver very closely behind. And then, the Jets, easily the top five. And,
You've come a long way.
And like I said last week, they're always going to be a good matchup, because of the rivalry and the Belichick, New York Patriots, all that kind of stuff. So, they're going to give it 100 both ways all the time, and that's going to make it a good game, even if one team is more talented than the other.
Right.
But like I said, if the game was in Foxborough, Brady's on a mission this year, with all the mess behind him. And they just got it rolling. And like you said, the experience had a lot to do with it too. The Patriots are used to being in big games and being able to come through. When they need to. And, Jets got a very good defense, and early on the Patriots, they weren't really playing their best ball. And that may have had a lot to do with the Jets defense, but Belichick and his staff are one of the best in making in-game adjustments, and that's what they did. Did away with the run and went straight to the pass. I mean, you got Mr. Brady path and making the decisions, you're bound to be successful.
Yeah, he is the difference maker.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. But like I said, it's a good game, another classic, and I'm sure the game in New York is going to be a good one too. And I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, the results will be the same.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, that was a pretty tame version of T-Rock tonight.
Well, he everything went his way, so he can be.
He's pretty cool and calm
he's
about
being as
that.
gracious as can be expected. Yeah. Well, what do you think about Miami next week? Well, this week.
Well, actually tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. They play tomorrow night. Look forward to that one too.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it'll be as close as this Jets game was. I mean, I think the Patriots will kind of find a way to neutralize them. They've been hot lately, though, so you just never know. Turnover here, turnover there, turn around
especially, division game on a short week, a lot of things can happen,
Yeah. But I'm expecting the Patriots to win by, I say at least 13. And, but it could be a good game.
Yeah.
Definitely it definitely going to be worth turning into.
The whole division is playing pretty well, even Buffalo.
Yeah. What's the spread on that game, Cal?
The spread is currently it opened up at 7.5. It is currently sitting at 8 for New England minus 8. So.
Well, I'll take New England with that if I was a bet.
Yeah, I have New England. I'm taking New England all the way until it moves to 10. Once it moves to the double digits, that's when I kind of might put on the brakes. But anything 9.5 and under, I think, is a good bet for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the Patriots are undefeated, and with our final segment of tonight, let's roll into the battle of undefeated teams.
Yeah.
And to see that's determined tonight who's going to join the Patriots as one of the few remaining undefeated teams in the NFL. And that is the game between the Packers of Green Bay. They're at Denver. So they're going to be playing the Broncos on the road this weekend. We'll go around the horn with your predictions and why. Calculator, you want to kick us off on that?
Sure thing. This is a perfect, great defense for Denver. Still don't know if DeMarcus Ware is going to be back, but he is a huge difference maker. But this suffocating type defense against Aaron Rodgers. Both of them are coming off a bye week, so they're both well rested. But the thing is, if Jordy Nelson was playing, I would feel better about the Packers in this spot just for the mere fact that, Denver has such good cornerbacks, but you couldn't cover all those receivers. I feel much better covering James Jones than Jordy Nelson. Yeah, James Jones has been great, but he's not Jordy Nelson. I think the defense, again, will keep them in. I think Peyton Manning had the bye week to kind of think things over. Emmanuel Sanders should be back, so he'll have his full array of weapons. I think the offensive line is getting healthier. And the Broncos have just announced that Ronnie Hillman will be the almost like the go-to guy, but if C.J. Anderson, C.J. Anderson was nicked up early on, so a lot that hurt his yards per carry and everything. Yeah. But I think I like Denver in the spot from the mere fact that they're at home. It's hard to play at altitude. You can ask anybody. People do not like playing in that altitude out west. Just look at Denver's home field records through the 80s and 90s. Of course, I'm sure John Elway had a lot to do with it, but still, the splits were pretty unbelievable. But I really like the Denver in this spot for the mere fact that I think Peyton Manning gets it going early. I think the defense can contain Rodgers enough to where, especially if Ware gets back, to where I think it'll be a close game, but I think Denver pulls it out. I'm looking at a 28-24. It has a 28-24 feel to it to me. So Denver on top.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And next is T-Rock.
Wow, what a game. Yes, it's going to be a good one. I'm kind of like Calculator. It's going to be a tough one. And it's, I don't know, Manning just scares me in this game. He really does. If he was playing just 50% better, I would go with Denver without question. But at the same time, you're playing in Denver. They got a stout defense. Green Bay's good too, but with Denver at home and their defense, I think that kind of gives them an edge. So I think it's going to be a very close game. I don't think the score is going to be as high as Calculator has it, but I think tight game. But in the end, I say Denver pulls it out with a score of about 21-17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if it ends with that score, that definitely would be worth sitting down and watching. Lacy, what are your thoughts on this game?
I have kind of some of the same concerns as T-Rock and the Calculator as far as Denver goes. Peyton Manning, he's I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I'm not a fan of him this year. I just feel like he's pretending. And I feel like Green Bay is going to take this from him, and I think when they take it from him at home, it's going to be obvious. Because Denver, Green Bay, they've had a scoring machine going on, and I understand that Denver has a great defense. They do, but they haven't really been shutting people down. They've been doing enough to get by. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when you're playing a team like Green Bay that really can kind of score it, all kinds of different ways, every position. They've got good talent, and they've got Aaron Rodgers who's going to get he's going to get his. So I feel like this game is going to go Green Bay's way, even though they're playing in the Mile High City and that altitude is will mess with people. I feel like Denver has been kind of skating by, and I don't think they can skate by Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to expose some weaknesses. I think that Green Bay is going to expose Peyton Manning's weaknesses because they're going to have to play against a team. They're going to have to keep up with Green Bay, and I don't think that they can. So,
okay,
that's my take on it.
Okay, so you roll with the Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going with the Broncos, and it's not a slam dunk, but I'm just going with Denver here. I've been impressed with Denver's defense, and the fact that they're leaning more towards the run, I think that's going to help shorten the game, and that's going to kind of keep it kind of like an ugly type of game. I do agree with you, Lacy, that offensively the Packers are, in my opinion, definitely the better team, and they get the better end of the deal there. And surprisingly, Green Bay's defense, I think it's 16 points a game that they're giving up, which is not bad. So I think this all has the ingredients of a 19-16 battle. And
really?
I think Denver's going to.
My question for you is this: when Green Bay goes up 14-0, how's Denver going to run?
Well, they have to go up 14-0 first, and
they do that.
And I'm wondering how they're going to do that when Denver, Lacy and Stark. I'm not really confident in that running game this season, and then this upcoming week, against Denver, I'm kind of concerned about that. So if Denver's able to shut that down, and if they're able to hit Rodgers a couple times, that's going to change some things too. So I just have a feeling that it's going to be a tight game. And I think it's going to end up where Denver, McManus would kick one from about 50 yards and win it at the end. And it's going to be one of those things where, either way, if Green Bay wins or don't win, they're still going to be considered one of the top teams in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And a Super Bowl contender. So for Mr. 4-1, I'm going on record. Denver 19, Green Bay 16.
There you go.
Okay, and I said Green Bay, so I'm going Green Bay I want to say 34-35. Denver 20.
Whoa, 35.
Lacy.
That's what I'm saying. I like
35-20, right? 35-20.
Wow.
34-35, somewhere between 17 and 20 for Denver, someplace between 31 and 35 for Green Bay. You know, that's flavor.
Wow.
All right. I will post that on our page.
Now, who was it that Green Bay played right before the bye?
San Diego
Chargers.
Yeah,
at home.
And then before that, was it Chicago they played? Somebody they played gave Rodgers fits. They sacked him about 4 or 5 times. I think it was before that game, and I think they only scored about 17 or 21 maybe in that game.
Yeah.
Was that the Rams?
Was
that the Rams? The Rams game?
I want to say it was the Bears.
Well, the Green Bay actually played the Bears week 1, so
yeah,
I think it might have been Kansas City because they played Kansas City on Monday night and then they had the travel.
Was it the Raiders?
It was the Rams.
Oh well, the Rams are really good. They have a good defense.
The Rams hit him a lot that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was somebody. Let me check with my sources real quick.
Check with his research department.
Yeah,
because they had back-to-back home games, and the latter of the back-to-back was the game against San Diego. The one before that was against the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they played Kansas City, I think, before that, and Kansas City actually got to them a few times, and that's why. And that's why I think
that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and I think that's what a good. I mean, if DeMarcus Ware's, I mean, that's just going to be even more hit. Like you said, once Rodgers gets hit, it kind of slows him down a little. Yeah.
I hear you, and I understand why you all said what you said, and that's why we all
we're not
get to
trying
have
to convince you otherwise, Lacy. We just saying that's why we think the way we think. So
you all very eloquently stated your position.
Are there any scores that I need to write down before we close?
You can write them all down, Mr. 411. I really don't give a rat's ass. What is your point?
Sound like that.
Yeah. Well, he's not around. We need to get into the Ravens talk soon too, but.
So is he on like a strike where he's not coming back to his show until the Ravens win a game or something?
I'm not sure. He's kind of wrapped up in some other.
Yeah, I heard he has other extracurriculars going on.
Yeah, he don't have time for us right now. He'll come back when his heart is broken.
Got back to me, and that game I was talking about was when they played San Francisco. That's who was all on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
on the road.
They only scored 17 points in that game.
Yeah,
they did.
That's right. San Francisco played a lot better than a lot of people thought they would.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
And they haven't played that way since.
That was, and you will be right. You will be correct, T-Rock, on that.
Yeah, he is.
They were all over him.
Yeah.
And they only scored 17 points. So,
with
that being said, I'm just expecting. No way they scored 30 points against Denver in the Mile High. But we're all entitled to that's why he went around the board.
That's exactly right.
So,
if we all agreed, it would be boring. So.
And for our 411 Sports World Podcast at gmail.com. For that reason, T-Rock, can I jot down your score again so I can put it out there for the listeners?
My score?
Yes, sir.
I had 21-17 Broncos.
Okay. And calculator?
I had 28-24 Broncos.
All right. 28-24. All right. I have everyone's score listed. It will be on our YouTube.
And what was the score?
34-20. Green Bay.
Okay, that's one.
I said 34-ish.
That's one I want to write down.
Was it 20-ish? Just put 34-ish on the website.
Yeah, I'll put ish. Or matter of fact, I'll put 31-34 in bracket.
Right, and 20 between 20 and 17 on the other end,
And I'll put 17-20 on Okay. I'll give you a range.
I got that written down.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I write that one down.
You mark it down.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game, and I'll be enjoying it either way.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Well, good. Great show today, and I know T-Rock, I know you have a special meeting you have to attend tonight in Las Vegas.
Yeah, another flight to catch.
Yeah. So you keep everything on the up and up.
Traveling man.
And, we need you to resurface. We need you to resurface in about another week.
Yeah.
So we can recap the Patriots Dolphins matchup.
Absolutely. And Green Bay and
yeah, definitely.
And Green Bay Denver matchup.
Got to do that since it's all written down and stuff.
Right.
Official.
Right. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
All right. Definitely look forward to it.
That was fun.
Before the voice upstairs, I would like to thank the panel for bringing the knowledge. I'd like to thank the listeners for taking the time out of their busy schedule to listen to our show. We will have this uploaded on tomorrow on YouTube, so get ready for that. We will put the scores out there as well, our predictions, because we're not afraid to step out there and let you know what we think, and we stand by our statements.
I do.
So before I pass it on.
Thanks for listening. And for those who are viewing their teams this Halloween weekend, watching as their hope for their playoffs fade, you'll experience this. Darkness falls across the land. The fourth quarter is close at hand. Creatures crawling in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. The foulest stench is in the air. The bulk of your team's season ending soon, and grisly goons from every tomb are closing in to seal your team's doom. And though they fight to stay alive, their spirit starts to dissipate. Stay tuned for our next show on 411 Sports World Podcast next Tuesday at 8. Thanks for listening. This show was delivered to you by the panel of experts, the Calculator, T-Rock, Lacy Dawson, and your host, Mr. 411. Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Good night.
All right, good night. Go Bucks.
Good night.